Hey vinyl community, it is time once again for me to show you some 25-cent treasures that I plucked out of the cheap bins at my local record store. It's been a while, but they were there waiting for me when I went shopping today. And so I pulled out 5 of the most interesting ones I could find. Got my fingers all dirty and nasty picking through all that cheap ass vinyl, but it's all worth it for you. That's how much I appreciate my viewers and the ones who like looking at ridiculously cheap and awful records. First one, Listen Son by Jack Pyle. I'm sorry, Listen Son and Other Readings by Jack Pyle. So who is Jack Pyle? Jack Pyle is a veteran of over 20 years in radio and television, most of which has been spent in Philadelphia. Currently, he is doing the morning radio show from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. over WRCV, the NBC affiliate. His resonant voice and easygoing attitude have made him a favorite with the mid-morning radio audience, who have shown their appreciation by the huge quantity of fan mail that is received by the studio daily. That's what I look for in a boss, actually, is an easygoing attitude and a resonant voice. Don't we all like somebody with an easygoing attitude? Over the years, Jack Pyle has received a tremendous amount of requests for an album of poetic readings. So this is an album of poetic readings. And the selections contained herein comprise the ones that have been asked for the most. So, side 1, we have Listen Son. Now, first of all, can we talk about this cover? Seriously, like, okay, something disturbing about that. And I just imagine, like, the kid waking up and going, like, ah! Because there's a creeper man standing over him in the dark. You know, the creeper. Listen, son. Ah! But anyway... So what poetic readings are on this album? Listen, son, I want you. Okay, now this is the point where I have to put the vinyl on. I've actually listened to some of this, and not only are they poetic readings, they almost sound like something right out of a soap opera. So this album was from 1960. It says so right on the label here. 1960. And it is something else. I got to tell you, Jack Pyle and his resonant, easygoing voice.
I want you with your arms and lips to love me throughout the wonder watches of the night. I want you when in dreams I still remember the lingering of your kiss for old time's sake. With all your gentle ways, so sweetly tender, I want you in the morning when I wake.
I love it. It's almost like that old soap opera organ playing in the background, you know, and I don't know if that's supposed to lend it like an air of emotional depth. You know, somebody like this guy reading in the recording studio, pouring his heart out, trying to read this impassioned poem while you got some dude in a huge organ playing in the background. I want you. I want you. Okay, the next one is A Woman's Question. Ad Finem to My Unborn Son. Ballad of the Lady in Hell. Ballad of the Lady in Hell. That sounds like a Scorpion song or something. Ballad of the Lady in Hell. The Touch of the Master's Hand. And To a Child Who Inquires. To a Child Who Inquires, why the hell are you standing over my bed like a creeper, Daddy? Next piece of vinyl that I plucked out of the nasty, dirty record bins is this gem, the Al Capone Memorial Jazz Band. Oh, you know, there's the Al Capone Memorial Cemetery, the Al Capone Memorial Library, the Al Capone Memorial Coliseum, and now we have the Al Capone Memorial Jazz Band, because we know when we think of jazz, immediately we think of that legend of jazz, Al Capone. So, as always, the liner notes are the biggest treat for albums like this. The Gang. Disregard that fatuous rumor sometimes whispered at the tables about Don Gibson losing his trigger finger in a fray with a rival jazz gang. The rival need him. He has substituted with all of them. And also the medical report clearly states the cause as accidental in a basement dynamite experiment. Ho, ho. Behind the scenes, Don fences electronic parts. In fact, for all the guys, jazz is simply a respectable front. Their cover-up for activity in the rackets. Now they act like the rackets. Oh, organized crime, that harmless little side thing that goes on. You know, Bill Hank and insurance, Ned Lake and Yutch Hark. Are these real names? Yutch Harker Engineering, Charles Marshall Horse Breeding, Ken Salvo Photography. This clique of nefarious, diverse talent is known in crime chronicles as the Long Grove Syndicate. Their hideout is the bandstand of the Village Tavern in Long Grove, a few miles northwest of Cicero. Okay, now they are taking this whole charade to a ridiculous length. You know, I mean, I don't know. So anyway, and the band members, they're listed under apparently their mob names: Milwaukee Ned Like, William Little Napoleon Trottier, Bill Hatchetman Hank, Jim Boobs Beebe. I'm not making that up. Jim Boobs. Oh, you know old Boobs. Boobs down at the bar. Jimmy Boobs Beebe, trombone. John Yutch Harker, Ken Machine Gun Salvo, Charles Greasy Thumb Marshall, Dandy Dick Calucci, Wayne the Waiter Jones, Mike Sharknose Schwimmer, Don Nine Fingers Gibson, and Dion O'Banion, floral arrangements. Well, they sound like a fun-loving gang to me. But whatever. I don't know what year this is from. This is on the Long Groove label. Still no date on here, but this vinyl is all beat up to, look at that. That vinyl has been kicked around and beat up all to hell. The next album I have is Glenn Yarborough, Come Share My Life. But as you can see from this picture, Glenn is about ready to toss his sedated wife over the side of a very tall bridge. He's had enough and she's got to go. Anyway, that's the impression that I get. That's my interpretation of this cover. But Glenn Yarborough. Anyone who has heard Glenn Yarborough sing has already shared a part of his life. Of his life. For Glenn's music is an accurate reflection of the man he is, the life he lives, and the music he loves. That music is universal and timeless, yet as contemporary as tomorrow morning sunrise. Aww. Musical taste is an intensely personal thing, but few performers have found that totally individual and unique area of music that belongs only to them. Glenn is one of the few. The songs Glenn selects are as original as he is. So what songs has Glenn selected? Well, Love Come A-Tricklin' Down, Stanyan Street, The Warm and Gentle Girls, Hummingbird, No One to Talk My Troubles To, No One to Talk About How Much My Wife Needs to Go. Need to get rid of this woman so I can start living the life of a bachelor. Really, Glenn? The happy whistler. Well, have you ever heard anybody who's not happy whistling? Have you ever heard the sad whistler? I don't think you can whistle if you're sad. Maddie Down, a young girl. I need to get rid of my wife so I can be with a young girl. I know, you know what? I'm making just too many assumptions based on this album cover. And I don't know, they look happy, whatever, but I'm just trying to have a little fun with Glenn Yarbrough. The classic RCA Victor label. And this vinyl's kind of beat up all the hell too, but doesn't matter because I'm not going to put it on. The next one I have is shorthand dictation for speed building. It's kind of interesting, just the thought of this. Somebody, you know what? I need to get a job as a secretary. I really want to learn how to do shorthand. So I'm going to go to my record store and see if they have any albums that can help me learn shorthand. So you would go down to the record store, and I'm imagining this is like the early 60s probably. So, I really want to get a job as a secretary, so I'm going to march down to my local record store, and hopefully they have some albums there that can help me in that vocation. And sure enough, you go through, and I imagine in the record store, maybe they had a section for if you wanted to be a carpenter. These are albums that will teach you how to be a carpenter, or if you wanted to become a mason, get into masonry, they had an entire section of albums. This is the 60s, when you go to your record store and you can find all kinds of albums on anything. And so this would be an album if you wanted to learn dictation and you wanted to learn shorthand. You would buy this record, you'd take it home, you'd throw it on, learn everything that you needed to learn. So, it was a different time, but, look, she's right there with her little 45s, learning how to dictate and in shorthand. So I think this is a charming album. It's really kind of a time capsule. It's the lens into a bygone era. But I don't know. I thought there was something cool about it. And this, I love this. Dictation discs, if used conscientiously, like there'd be a way to misuse this. How could you unconscientiously use a dictation disc like these? I'm dying to know. Don't play this album backwards. Don't use this album for anything other than its intended purpose. Do not put this album on for enjoyment. Don't throw it on at parties. Don't throw it on as background music. You need to use this album conscientiously. You need to take this album seriously. Don't store it with the rest of your records. It needs to be put in a very special place in your home so that you can use it conscientiously. So anyway, dictation discs, if used conscientiously, will assure achievement in shorthand skill. They are the finest speed and accuracy builders known, for they offer indispensable repetition practice which develops rhythm and a smooth flowing writing style. They are convenient, challenging, well, because I wouldn't want a record that didn't challenge me. I wouldn't want a record to be too easy, and enjoyable to use. I'm sure this was very enjoyable to listen to and to practice by. Use this guide to all records and all speeds so that as you master one set, you can order your next accurately and without delay. Interesting. Mellatrino love story. So apparently these are songs from the film Love Story, but I bought it for the cover alone. She's just kind of there with this blank, vacant stare, and he's just kind of resting his head here like, I love you. I love you. we're in love. I mean, you know, isn't that the essence of romance right there? So anyway, that's all I got. Just get the funk off my fingers from those albums. Dirty albums. Anyway, those are my 25-cent bin picks. As always, if you like these videos and you want to see more, give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. But best of all, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.